Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a Mounjaro update coming to you from the single most comfortable chair I have ever sat in. This is the Flexis Spot XC6 reclining chair and it's amazing. So hold on to that thought because we are going to come back and talk about the Flexis Spot chair later in the video. But first, we're going to talk about Mounjaro and how I'm getting on. The last update I did for you guys was 12th of March. I think I recorded it a few days earlier, if I remember rightly. I've been back through my weight loss charts to see what I weighed on the 12th of March. And on the 12th of March, I weighed 23 stone, 7 pounds. A quick recap, I had been back on Mounjaro since the beginning of the year, started again 5th of January, so I'd done about 2 months at that point, and I've done about another 2 months since then. And it has been a difficult couple of months. If you join me regularly for my weekly waffle that I put out every week, I do a vlog, and if you join me regularly for that, you will have seen over the last few weeks that there have been times when I have been extremely unwell. Is the rocking going to annoy you? Because it's so comforting for me. I have been extremely unwell at times, mostly when I've been away from home, which is, I think, the worst time. The worst time to feel unwell is when you're not at home and you can't just hug your dog, grab your hot water bottle and feel sorry for yourself in your own bed. So I've worked away a fair amount for work, and being ill has always seemed to coincide with when I've been away. But actually, I don't think that's the correlation, even though that's when it's happened. That's coincidental. I think because I've been away with work at the beginning of each week, and that's when I've taken my jab, that's the problem. I think if I'd been doing my jab on a Monday and going away on a Thursday, I wouldn't have been ill while I was away, because I seem to be not very well the first couple of days after I take the jab. And I suppose that's a reasonable time for the effects to be at their strongest, isn't it? When you've just put the medication into your body, it's logical that that's when the side effects would hit you the most. So the side effects that I experience the most are, you have to excuse me, I keep clearing my throat because I'm still got the lingering tail end of that cough and cold I had a few weeks ago. The side effects that I experience the most are the eggy sulphur burps. If you've never experienced them, I am happy for you and I hope you never have to, because they are ugly, they are awful, they taste like rotten egg, which is obviously what you expect from sulphur. If you've ever been to a mud bath in one of these hot countries like we went in Turkey, we went to a mud bath, and for some reason we didn't expect it to smell of fart, but it really did. It smelled of eggy sulphurous farts. That's what these burps taste like. Imagine tasting eggy sulphurous fart burp. That's what it's like, and it's horrible, absolutely vile, and it makes me feel sick. And there's been several occasions where I have made myself sick to try to empty the rotten food from my stomach in order to move away from these awful burps, because apparently that's what it is. It's caused by food fermenting in your gut because the Mounjaro slows your system so much that the food doesn't pass through. I am learning to avoid certain foods which are more likely to ferment, so that's helping. I'm learning to avoid those foods. And touch wood, there's a chair back here. This week, I haven't experienced a problem. Now, I have just gone up to 7.5 milligrams. I did 2 months on 2.5, and then I did 2 months on 5. Now, the recommendation is that you should titrate up once a month. So you should start on 2.5, do that for 1 pen, and then when that pen finishes, each pen lasts 4 weeks, you should do a 5 ml pen, and then when that pen finishes, you should do a 7.5. I stayed on 2.5 for 2 months because I was scared to move up to 5, because when I had moved up to 5 the time before when I used Mounjaro, that was when I got very, very ill. I had 2 weeks of violent vomiting and diarrhea, and I mean violently aggressive. 2 weeks of feeling like death and not being able to move and not being able to go anywhere. And that had happened when I'd moved up to 5. And so I was frightened to move to 5 this time, but I did it in the end. And I had a bad couple of weeks. I had a bad couple of weeks with it. And then it seemed to calm down a bit. And so I thought, should I stay on 5 or should I brave and go up to 7.5? And I bottled it and I had another 5 pens. So essentially, instead of going 2.5, 5, 7.5, I've gone 2.5, 2.5, 5, 5, and now I'm on 7.5. I've done 1 week of 7.5 so far. I'm coming to you with this vlog on I'm recording it on a Wednesday. And I should have taken my pen on Monday morning. And I didn't, because I knew I was going away with work again, and I was so sick of being ill in hotel rooms, so sick of being ill and feeling rough when I've been away with work, and so I didn't do my pen on Monday morning. I've left it and I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, so I've done it a couple of days late. By the time I finally do it, it'll be a couple of days late. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. it will just shift my day slightly. I won't do my next pen Monday. I'll do my next pen Wednesday of next week. But I haven't had such a poor experience with the 7.5 pen as I was afraid I would. I was very, very nervous, really nervous that, you know, if the 5 makes me ill, what's the 7.5 going to do? I'm going to be so ill. And I haven't. Touch wood again. It's been okay so far. So maybe I won't get the poor side effects as I move up through the pens. Maybe things will improve as my body gets used to it. I had noticed a recurrence of the food noise. We talked about the food noise in the last video, and I had noticed a slight return of that when I was coming to the end of the second 5 pen, which is what prompted me to go up to 7.5. I was like, the food noise is back. I'm eating very badly again. I need to step it up a bit. And so I went up to 7.5. And it certainly did kill my appetite stone dead. The first few days I looked at food and went, oh no, which is how I was in the beginning. When I very first did Mounjaro last September, the first month was an absolute dream. I just didn't want food. I was like, I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I don't care about it. And gradually over the course of the second 5ml pen, the food noise had begun to come back and I was interested in food again. I was thinking about food. I was fancying things. I was like, oh, I could do a KFC. Oh, I could do McDonald's. Oh, I haven't had Greggs for a while. Oh, I could walk around the cake aisle. And I'd given up on all of that. That'd gone and it started to come back. And so I thought, okay, we'll go up to 7.5. And certainly this last week, my interest in food has waned again. My interest in the bad food has waned. And I have eaten a lot less. I haven't weighed myself for a few days because I've been away from work and I've just come home. So I haven't weighed myself for a few days. But my weigh-in for the last time I looked, which was Monday morning, was 22 stone, 7.2 pounds. So that means in the 2 months since I last gave you an update, just under 2 months, I have lost another stone. Now, that is a rate of half a stone a month, which is a rate of about 1.7 pounds a week, something like that. It doesn't sound very exciting when you say that. You think, well, I should be able to do 1.7 pounds a week just calorie counting. I did it before. I did way better than this on calories, just counting calories. Anyone can lose 1.7 pounds a week if they dedicate themselves to it. And part of me feels that way. Part of me is like, well, this is very slow progress. This doesn't seem worth it. It's a lot of money. It doesn't seem worth it. And then I remind myself that although I should be able to do 1.7 pounds a week quite easily on my own, I hadn't been doing it for a couple of years. It's all very well going, well, you can do that, but I wasn't doing it, was I? Theoretically, yes. I should be able to do that, but I hadn't been. And at least with Mounjaro, I am. At least with Mounjaro, it's still coming off. It's slow, but it's steady and it's coming off. So I am going to continue for a bit longer. As long as the side effects don't come back and kick me up the ass again, I will continue. I don't enjoy being ill, but I do know what triggers it. It's when I overeat. And I know when I've overeaten. Every time it's happened, I've said to myself, you've eaten too much, you're going to suffer for this. So I think the thing is that Mounjaro doesn't just work for you. You also have to kick your willpower into gear. You also have to deliberately not overeat because of the effects. It's not just a case of if you overeat, it will make you ill. That's not how it works. But that's one of the things you have to learn, is that you can't carry on eating indiscriminately. And I suppose that's something I'm still dealing with. As a chronic food addict of many years, as someone who has turned to food for solace, for comfort, for companionship, for rewards, for treats, for compensation, for everything. Food has been my constant companion all these years. And so I'm still breaking those habits. I'm still trying to break those habits. I'm still trying to remember that food is just fuel. My body does need fuel. But that's all food is. It isn't all of those other things. Food is not my best friend. It's not my enemy. It's not my enemy. No food is your enemy. Food is not your enemy, but it's also not my best friend. And that's what I've got to remember. That it's just a tool that I need to use to continue to exist. That's all it is. Food is just fuel. And that's something that I really am trying to work on. I have always had an addictive personality, and I have lurched from one crutch to another. So I smoked, and when I gave up smoking, I've moved to other things. The only addictions that I've never had, thank God, are drugs. But other things, I've lurched from one crutch to another all my life. And food cannot continue to be the crutch that I lean on, because it's going to break underneath me and plummet me to my death. I think my analogy went a bit skew-iff, but you know what I'm trying to say, don't you? It's not just, Mounjaro doesn't just make it all better. It doesn't just save you. I've got to put the work in as well. And I know that there's been times recently when I haven't put the effort in. So I need to continue to work on me and work on that. I don't know if this has been very illuminating. If you've got any questions, as always, please do pop them down in the comments below. I know a lot of you have commented in the past. Some of you disapprove of my choices. Some of you are on board with my choices. I think it's important to remember that whilst you're entitled to have your opinion, it's also important to present your opinion as an offering on a plate rather than a thrust from a sword. I am going to sit here in my very comfortable Flexis Spot chair, which I said we'd come back to, didn't I? This chair was gifted to us. This is a stunning chair, and it was gifted to us by Flexis Spot, who also have a cracking sale on. So make sure you check out their sale. I'm going to put all the information in the description box for you. But this chair is absolutely banging. It is the most comfortable chair I have ever sat in my life. And this is important. Why have I put it into the Mounjaro video, you might be wondering? Of all the places to pop a gifted item like that, why have we put it in there? Because some of the weight I have lost has come off of my bottom. I have maintained my stomach. I have maintained the enormous hips. I have lost the padding that I had on my sit-upon. And when I sit upon my sit-upon, it is no longer comfortable. I am feeling the bones in my bum when I sit on ordinary chairs. And this chair is not an ordinary chair. This chair, it reclines. I can't show you properly without moving the camera, but hang on, look. It's a manual recliner, although they do power recliners as well. Can you see what I mean about the stomach having remained? It comes up like that. It would go further back if I had it further away from the wall. You can lie all the way down in it. It feels, I said this to Nat the other day and she laughed. It feels like I am being cradled in a hand. It feels like I am cupped in a hand because it's curved here. It's so comfortable. It feels like I'm being cradled in the hand of a giant. You saw that it rocks when I'm sitting up. It swivels. Look, if I just grab the dining table, I'm too close to the wall, I can't swivel properly. But it swivels 360 degrees, so I could sit in the middle of the room and spin around like a top. It has a hidden little pocket on the side here, which again, you won't be able to see until I turn back round. You may not be able to see. Did you see that? Look there, look. How cool is that? I didn't even know it was there. It wasn't until I was on the website looking at the information to tell you guys to make sure that I gave you the facts. And it said hidden storage, and I was like, well, that's very well hidden because I haven't found it. When you are reclined like this, it genuinely feels like I am being cradled, and I have slept in this chair. I have dozed. Every time I sit in this chair and put the telly on, I'm like, very, very quickly. So, if you are in the market for an extremely comfortable armchair, go and check out the Flexis Spot website because the details are going to be below this video. And I can honestly tell you, you will not be disappointed. This is a banger of a chair. My only problem is that Anthony wants it. Anthony wants it, and I think I might lose it. I think I might lose it. Unless I buy him one, maybe, for Christmas or something. So, thank you to Flexis Spot for sending us this chair and giving me something to put my bony underneath on, despite the rest of me being overly padded. And thank you to you guys for joining me for today's Mounjaro video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, any questions in the comments section below and I'll endeavour to answer them for you. And with all that said, I will see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.